Let's just get going. People are going to meander in as we go, and again, I'll see you all here at 5 o'clock tonight for the unkeynote. Have a great day, everyone.
Ad spot, right? And to try to, build justification for this market that seems to be going downhill with the advent of the internet. But anyway, his whole thing is storytelling, right? And ads to him tell stories, and they tell them very well, good ads. And I think that good copywriting and good writing and good engagement needs to tell a good story. So anyway, those are the two tensions, right? So we want quality content, but we want SEO-driven content.
Sure.
And then on top of all of that, we want to track the impact of content, right? So for 8 years, I've been battling with clients like Steve, saying, what's the ROI of this content? I need to tell my bosses what the ROI is of this content, right? And it's very hard to do that. Believe me, it's near impossible. So after 8 years, we came up with a way to do it, which you can do on your own. It doesn't require anything that we've built. But we built this technology called Word Vision. And you go to wordvision.com and learn a little bit about it. But the net of it is, in our world, we represent all these writers. We want the SEO manager to come in and rank the keywords that matter most to them, and then get the hell out of the way. Okay, that's the first thing that you'll find with working with copywriters that they'll really appreciate. Let the SEO manager come in and do their thing. So we have, for every client, for every domain name, we have a client give us about 2,000 or 3,000 keywords, that many, and they'll take 300 or 400. We'll try to limit them to 300 or 400 keywords that matter most to them, and we have them rank those keywords on a scale of 1 to 10, okay, with importance. This tool, Word Vision, then tracks the impact, if you can imagine, of all of the articles that are written. It studies 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 keyword listing positions that come from the SEO manager's direction on where they want to go. But we only let them rank 300 or 400 of them. So what we're doing for a writer, and that's why we really created this tool, is we're giving them vision. We're giving them the ability to see lots of related keyword phrases. So when they search for the hot topics to write about, we actually have these visual displays. So the weighting of the manager's keyword phrases comes into play. Some words are bigger. So if I do a search on publishing software, and this tool is set up for PTC.com, Parametric Technology Corporation, a Boston-based company that we work with. So we do a search on publishing software, and a visual map, we call it a keyword vision sort of map, comes up, and it looks like a tag cloud. You guys know what a tag cloud is, right? Mm-hmm. Some keywords are bigger, some are smaller. Well, those recommendations from our algorithm are actually coming from the SEO manager's recommendations and the pay-per-click price, and the search volume of that keyword phrase, and some other variables. So the writer is seeing the big picture, and they're getting recommendations from a much broader perspective. That's where SEO needs to go. We need to get the SEO manager out of play, right? We need to say, look, okay, we know some words are important to you, but guess what? There are a lot of other long tail words or medium tail keyword phrases that matter for the writer. The writer needs to see everything going on, not just a list of, here are the keywords that matter to me. That's what's wrong with content from my perspective. That's what's wrong with the way writers are being forced to write for the web. In the old school, they're being handed a list of keywords that matter most, and there's like a block. Like, I'm tired of seeing these same keywords. I need to see other related keywords. So it's a really cool tool. Take a look at it. We're trying to roll it out, and you can really kind of do it on your own. I mean, there's a lot of other SEO tools out there. There's keyword density analysis. There's ways to track your log files. This tool happens to track the listing positions of all the keywords in your keyword universe once a month. And what it also does is it ties in the impact of an article that you publish on your website, not for the keyword phrases that you've optimized for, but for all of the keyword phrases that are included in that article. So we're looking at the whole body of all the keyword phrases that are in the article, seeing what the measured improvement is in the listing positions for those phrases. So what we're moving away from is SEO as it's known now, which is where you optimize for 3 phrases on an article, and then you go back to see how those three phrases. That is old school. That's what needs to change. That's what needs to move out, to basically get out of the way, in my opinion at least. We need to look at the overall impact of quality content on your website for driving repeat visitors, for keeping people satisfied and happy, with the quality of content on your website.
The core strength of kind of an affiliate is someone who's just an outstanding networker, and utilizing clever tactics, and basically creating leads, turning one lead into 10, into 20, into 30. That's kind of the key.
How do you get them to do that? To turn a lead into 10 or 20?
There are lots of different ways. I mean, it's you want to recommend, like for us, referral system's huge. So we have a system where basically people are like our concept and our idea, and so in the email that when someone joins us, becomes a member, they can shoot it off to 5 or 10 of their friends, or they can dive down into their their Gmail or Yahoo and send it out to all their contacts. That's how in today's kind of community world, that's what really kind of builds or kind of spreads the buzz.
Okay.
That's pretty small scale, though. It doesn't sound like it follows the 80-20 rule.
How so?
Kind of viral though.
Well, I guess so. I guess if the list expands enough upon further.
I know my newsletter works out good. I mean, having people sign up for my newsletter on my site just
Now, what are you doing with that data once they collect for the newsletter?
Well, I send out every month, and then a lot of times I'll mail out specials to those people. Like postcards too. I'll do direct mail to them. I got a pretty loyal base because I sell stationery or to a specific group and niche group, and it's a loyal group. It's just they buy. I know a lot of these people on first name basis, and when I mail orders, I put a little card in there, write a note to them and everything, and but the email newsletter, since 2001, I put out a letter every month, without fail. It's just, it always works. It always drives traffic, brings up my sales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all things that we use. It's like kind of the more interaction that you have, the more value, at every kind of touch point you have, with your leads or with your potential consumer. That's what's going to build, basically the value and create the loyalty. So those are some things that I would definitely recommend having someone kind of managing that operation.
Okay.
Or even look to some of your best performers. I mean, if you can have them all be, I totally agree. If you get them all, being, hungry, competitive, fighting for business, it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Thank you. Thanks for the ideas, guys.
Your name, sir?
My name's Vinny.
Hey, Vin. Christian.
Hi, Chris. Nice
Good to
to
meet you.
All right.
Are you from Boston area?
No, I live in Cleveland.
Uh-huh.
I have our company there.
What do you do?
I'm a publisher. I create all my own product. I teach our business has about 20 campaigns active on the internet.
Yeah.
So we attract affiliates. So I understand that game very well. I have an affiliate manager and 2 sub-affiliate managers. It's important to have that. He's here running around somewhere, but I saw the lead thing, so it's probably the one part of our business that we're always trying to maximize its return on. So
Yeah.
it's fun. What do you guys sell? Toys?
Well, party supplies.
Oh,
For,
cool.
on my website that I'm here for is makesparties.com. And we sell party supplies and Halloween costumes.
Cool.
A website for that, and it's all of our businesses on that site is driven by affiliates.
Imagine.
And we have a warehouse outside of Albany, New York, that we ship out of.
Cool. That's where I grew up.
A town called Gilderland, just west of.
Oh well. Where's Jericho?
Jericho is on Long Island.
Okay.
What's your business, Vince? What
I do a
space?
lot of work from home opportunities. So we have a survey product. We have
we've built probably the most popular web builder on the internet that people use to actually create basically their web store to use as their work product. We basically build affiliates. That's what we do. We build them from the ground up.
Wow.
Yeah. I got about 3,000 affiliates that work with us now. Our goal is to make it 10 in a couple of years. So. Pretty active campaign around PPC. The guy who spoke yesterday said there's 5,000 a day. I do 15,000 a day. So I mean, we generating leads.
Amit Mehta.
Yeah, generating leads. I've known him for a bit. Generating leads is not a problem for us. It's always an issue of what to do with some of your leads, because you generate them in a free environment, a buyer environment.
Right.
You be real careful about taking your buyer leads and doing anything of quick value with them, because you'll lose that buyer. And,
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I wasn't sure what you guys were going to be chatting about.
I'm sure Brad Fallon has done testing for My Wedding Favors. Andy Jenkins, he tests everything. Before they decided to go to do that, they tested it. The problem that I saw with their testing was they tested it in May. And May's a period of the year, most people, get married in June. So their wedding favors business is like really ramping up. So their test results may not have been totally 100% accurate. But, it's a question of...
Meaning that they found that people did not like it starting automatically, correct?
Well, no, that's not what they found. Okay, what they found was...
Or their assumption of what they found.
They are of the money, by the money, and for the money.
Right.
And they are looking for, the maximum amount of conversions, maximum amount of sales. What they found was that when they put the video on their website, and it started without the sound, and the people moved around for a few seconds and then froze, and then if somebody wanted to click on it to make it play, they could do play from the beginning. What they found was they had more customers that bought than if they had the video play on an automatic launch when the website opened. That's what they found. Okay, but there's a problem, and here's the problem. Come on down.
Hi, sorry, I'm a little late.
When somebody, and it depends, it varies by website, but we know based upon our own website that people might come to our website 3 or 4 times or 5 times before they actually make a purchase from us. So it's really important for us to get our story to them. Now, I don't know what it is for My Wedding Favors with people looking at these wedding items, but it seems to me that if somebody comes to the website for the first time, you want to communicate your message, because there's a lot of people in the wedding favors business, and they can go click on somebody else's website, and if they're listening to a person talk about your message versus about somebody else's message, you're getting your message across. And a lot to do with video is, communicating what your message is all about. And by stopping the video from playing right at the beginning and letting them opt in, and they probably have 15% of the people or 20% of the people that come to the web page, the way they have it now with it freezing, will actually click the button and have it play. Whereas when they were on automatic launch, it would launch on 100% of the people come to the website, and 10 to 15% of the people would click it closed. So maybe 85% of the people were getting the message, and now only 15, 20% of the people are actually getting the message. But the bottom line at the end of the day is, for the customers that are buying and actually giving you their credit cards, you want the maximum number of those people, getting through your sales funnel and giving you their credit cards at the end of the day, and you got to go with what works for that. But it may vary on different websites, because different people may, have several trips to a particular website to see what they're going to see. So, it's all, everybody's business is different, so everybody's got to measure and
under that same vein, if people come back 5 times, they don't want to necessarily listen to that person say the same thing 5 times.
Yeah, and we have a tool in our control panel.
I was going to ask you,
that other people do not have. All right, we have a tool that'll put a cookie on the visitor's browser, and you can select in a drop-down menu, do you want the cookie to have a life of a day, a week, or a month? So they can see the video 1 time a day, 1 time a week, or 1 time a month. So depending upon your value proposition, if you're Budweiser, you set it to play every visit, because you just want the add to play all the time. But, you know, if you're, you know, like my wedding favors, you might have it play, you know, once a week. You know, we have different people want different things. So, see, I just got knocked out of business. But you can have it set up to as you like, which is another really nice tool that we have. So there's a lot of interesting considerations going on around the video that people just don't even think about when they're thinking about video. You know, thinking about, you know, well, how I'm going to shoot it, what it's going to look like, you know, what's my message going to be.
I think there's still a big hype about it.
Oh, there's like 15
when
million of them, but
yes,
that's only a very small
I know.
fraction of all the
Out of
phones that
3
are in.
billion handsets worldwide, 15 million is not really a whole lot.
My wife still has a Razor.
Yeah.
My site will work on a Razor as effectively as it will on an iPhone because I designed it for a Razor screen.
I just don't want to be on Singular.
Pardon me?
I don't want to use Singular.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have an iPhone.
With an iPhone,
Yeah,
right.
that's same here.
Yeah.
And when I developed it, my daughter had a chocolate on Verizon, so we used that as a testing platform. It will work on all the little chocolates.
Well, the thing is that when I look at the stats, the numbers, the iPhone or the share of the iPhone definitely has increased, but it's still not the most commonly used
It will
handset.
if they open it to Verizon or
It will when
Sprint.
they do not make you buy a 2-year or something contract
Right.
with a certain carrier as they do it in Europe. And
I
mean,
like the idea of it, but Singular just isn't a good network for my area, so I'm not going to invest in it if I can't use it. And then I guess I could purchase the iPod Touch, but then I wouldn't have the internet with the phone. I would have to rely on Wi-Fi.
And then there's people like my dad. If I gave my dad the iPhone, he wouldn't know what to do with it. He wants to have a keyboard. He doesn't care about all the fancy animations. He just wants to make a phone call, perhaps send a text message, and do a search on the mobile internet once in a while, and that's it. And he's definitely never going to get an iPhone.
So do you think that because the iPhone is very similar to an Apple,
I'm really happy with
is
this right now.
actually inhibiting people from using it?
Yeah, this is who's your carrier?
Sorry, what was the last sentence?
Do you think that because the iPhone then is so similar to an Apple and people aren't familiar with how an Apple browser works, it actually inhibits people from getting an iPhone?
I think people get the iPhone because it's cool, it's got a great user experience. I mean, young people love it. But
Is that a smartphone?
No.
I think that there's a little bit of religion into using iPhone or Apple products. It's like MP3 player versus
iPhone's
iPod.
become everything. It's got
Is
my
there-
calendar and my
Is there
phone
a sort of
book and my address
PCS
book.
equivalent
that advanced
to
yet.
an
Memos
iPhone?
and-
Oh, there are many handsets that
But
are
your
even
phone's
better than the
also
iPhone
nice and small
that do
compared
the
to
same
mine.
thing. The HTC
Oh.
Diamond Touch, for
Right,
example,
right.
it's a great phone. 3G, GPS navigation, everything.
Connect that to your computer.
And it's not as expensive, and you don't have to buy a contract for X
I
years.
can write
And
memos.
does that switch
Right.
between Wi-Fi and
Yes.
3G?
Yes.
It's got a
What's that
camcorder in
from?
it.
HTC Diamond Touch.
HTC Diamond Touch.
Okay.
HTC is the manufacturer.
Okay.
But its keyboard's
That's just one example. And if you go to China, then
yours is a little bigger.
you actually see a lot of iPhone copies that you can sell, that you can purchase on the street.
Yeah.
They might not have 3G,
Protects
but
the screen.
the rest, the user experience, the scrolling, the effects, the touchscreen, it's the same thing. So I bet when people come back from the Olympics,
You'll
half
see a
of
keyboard there.
half of the athletes probably have a new phone when they're back.
Because that, to me, is something that's very interesting about the iPhone, is the ability to switch between Wi-Fi.
Yes.
That it's free. I mean, in this venue,
Yeah.
you're surfing for free. Then when you go into the centre of Boston, it might
But I think
be
also the Nokia N95, which is sort of their flagship at the moment, I think it does the same thing.
Nokia N95.
I think so. Yeah.
But then
There are a lot of great phones out there. So the iPhone is not really beyond everybody. It's not the case.
because
It's more for people who want like a trio type of thing, the smartphone.
Yeah.
Not just a phone, but everything.
Even BlackBerry is getting there. I mean, they used to be ugly and big with big keyboards, but they're going in the same direction.
Yep.
So Peter, can I ask a question about widgets? So we've got clever developers creating widgets for both iPhone.
But it's like you have to take advantage of what you have. I mean, again, doing contests, just constantly don't think that there's a publisher that you want to join your program that you have to get them to join overnight. You know, and if you are going to allow a publisher to do search for you, then you need to know that publisher and you need to contact that publisher. And I even tell them, if I call you tomorrow to shut something down,
Shut it down.
shut it down.
Yeah. Right.
And so we have that conversation before we start.
Still have 45 minutes to go, so if you'd like to go to a different table, we have plenty of time. There's a lot of good information going around.
And then let me give
So
you
feel
my
free to move
card.
around.
And call me anytime. I know your issues, because I'm kind of going through that same thing with this other company where it's like, what do we do? But there's opportunity, you know.
Would you recommend joint venturing as well? I mean, if you've got different companies that have different types of affiliates, do they come together?
If you've got different companies that have different types of affiliates,
But
like
similar
you're
industries. So, you know, you've got, let's say, you've got one list of affiliates.
Absolutely. So actually my partner in crime as my, you know, that I did a lot of things with was Digital River One Network.
Really?
Yeah. So we did a couple of parties together. We did a couple of private things together. We share a lot of information between each other because there was no conflict. I'm working on that now with my existing clients, like getting Quest and Blue Man to, like, you know, maybe you can't give away a trip or whatever, but maybe we can get a group of publishers in one room and, you know, talk about the Blue Man Group or talk about what Quest Communications is doing, etc. I don't know.
Food and alcohol involved.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really what I've had luck in this weekend was I just pretty much, you know, went up to a lot of these networks and I said, are you training affiliates? They're like, no. I was
Nice
like,
question.
and this is the best part was, you know, I just asked them 4 questions. Are you training affiliates? No. Okay, so are you losing affiliates? Yes. Would you like to keep these affiliates? Definitely. If I could provide you the resources, would you be able to implement them? Tell me how.
Wow.
And that's really how it worked for us because we're an internet marketing company, so it was just a perfect fit. And I think I've had more luck doing that, joint ventures, and actually picking up affiliates.
I do have some question here.
Okay.
Okay. In fact, we launched a affiliate program earlier than we launched in-house paid search program. So right now we have very keen competition between our in-house PPC and the search affiliate.
Okay.
It takes me about 6 months to figure out this solution. Somehow I still feel frustrating.
So I think what it is that you need, before you start an affiliate search strategy, and
Yeah,
for
we
me,
said
that's
that-
what the partnership is all about, is defining what that strategy is that's going to complement your existing corporate search. You need to define, okay, where are the holes and gaps in our corporate search? Where do we want publishers bidding? You know, define what those rules and regulations are going to be, and then also, I mean, talk to them about it as well. They'll have ideas of where they see opportunities. You know, they're not going to tell you the specific details of what keywords they think we should be bidding on, etc. And for me, I don't want to know that. I have in my mind, well, maybe my goal is that I want to increase my traffic or increase my sales by 15% or something like that. I always have a goal in mind. At Win Las Vegas, it was all about driving international sales. So believe it or not, 60% of my revenue was from search. So 60% of my, I would say out of the 60% that came from search, 40% was from international sales. Because I had my top publishers, my search publishers, focusing on international versus domestic. You know, so it's for you, and you can work. Do you have an in-house search person?
Actually, the agent run the program for us. So that makes things more complicated.
Because also what I've been doing, like again, I got big, huge brand Quest Communications, $1 million in search, a month, and then they run out of money. I'm working with their in-house search person to define what our strategy should be for Silly. So I got buy-in. Quest sees the opportunity, but their corporate search people are participating in defining what the affiliate search strategy should be. And so that defines what our policy is. And I don't know if you guys were here, but
I mean, the biggest thing I look at whenever I'm going after a market is I look at the competition. Who's playing in that space? Are they getting traffic? Are they making money? If so, then I know we can go in and dominate that market. It's just a matter of converting better.
Okay.
So that's the first step. Is there a market there? Is somebody already making a lot of money in this market?
So you're not looking for, let's say, a reasonably sized market, but not a lot of competition. You're looking for someone that's already making a lot of money in the vertical.
Yeah.
I can do better or as good.
Yeah, I mean, typically with search engine marketing, the whole thinking is create your own niche and, make sure there's not a lot of competition.
Yeah.
In our space, is totally different. It's like the more competition, the better. Because they've already done more testing, they've already done buys. I can just come in, see what they've done, tweak my offer to convert better, and then I can outbid them, for that traffic. Frequency cap of 1 per day, 24-hour out clause, any targeting. If you're shipping a product, then I would do like U.S. only, geo-targeted, U.S. only. Because then if you don't put that, then a lot of times those ad networks will send you like the international traffic, which sucks. Yeah. The other is a billing off your numbers. Like if you need to use an ad server to serve the ads, and you want to make sure you're going off your numbers. So when you're tracking everything and looking at the numbers, you make sure that you're profitable and you're making money. There's different ad servers out there. There's different providers. There's providers like DoubleClick, Zito, Ad Juggler, Ad Shuffle. There's various different ad servers. Sure. Sure. Sure.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I didn't get to hear anyone else's, but what are some of your main areas of strategies to drive mass amounts of traffic beyond search engines?
Is that how you're driving traffic now? Mostly search engines?
Yeah.
That's how we started in the business. The biggest ways of driving traffic are, number one, media buys. Doing display, banner buys with ad networks or publishers. Two is CPA networks. That's what the shows here are all about. But before you go there, you got to make sure that your offer is ready, that it's converting better, than any competitor, and that pretty much focus on the conversion first before going after the traffic.
Okay.
What's the product you're promoting?
We have a network of sites that varies. A lot of subscription products, a lot of the financial sector.
Okay.
So, but we focus on conversion, so our sites tend to convert higher than those sites.
Okay.
Just based on the way the site's laid out, content on the site. So it's just kind of as Google continues to grow and dominate and raise CPCs, it seems like that's most people's concern of how do I drive traffic beyond Google, whether it's organic related or.
Google's such a small percentage. I mean, there's so much traffic out there. I mean, typically Google's about 5% of our traffic right now. Because there's so much more traffic going with publishers direct. You can do direct ad buys. You can work with ad networks, which you can cut one deal, and they can have your ad.
What are some of your favorite ad networks?
Some of the favorite ad networks, advertising.com, Tribal Fusion, Casal Media. Those are a few.
Okay.
And there's so many of them. AdBread is another great place to start.
Yeah, I tried working with AdBread. They weren't able to get to the kind of level of the categorization that I was trying to get to. It was a little broad.
Did you do a self-serve buy or did you do a buy directly with a manager?
Direct, yeah.
Well, you're managing it yourself.
Right. I worked with them to kind of understand the category, to find out what kind of traffic it was getting.
Yeah.
But based on the type of traffic it was getting, it didn't seem like it was going to be high enough quality based on the vertical.
Okay.
So it was, more related to actually.
I use Joomla for my e-commerce site because I use Virtumart, for my credit card.
Right.
But does WordPress have any kind of credit card? I haven't seen any kind of acceptance credit cards with WordPress. I haven't.
Yeah, I don't know if there's
I don't know
like
if
credit
you
card type of stuff, but
yeah, because I love WordPress because it's so SEO friendly.
right, right. Yeah, I want
compared to
yeah.
Joomla is, you can change it, but I don't know, WordPress just seems to attract
Right.
Google
The
more.
merchants dictate a lot of that.
What?
The actual processors dictate your credit cards. I don't think WordPress
Yeah,
is gonna
I think
care
it-
about
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
do the word. Yeah, it's just putting the code in. With Joomla, I use this Virtumart, which is an open source
Right.
program, and I'm able to accept my credit. I use I have the merchant and everything like that, but I don't see anything. I haven't seen anything with WordPress that has.
Right,
something
yeah.
I can set
I
up.
had
Yeah.
a shopping website that I wanted to set up with a WordPress template, and
Yeah.
I think the best way to do it is probably have somebody custom design a WordPress template and then use either PayPal or some other type of like third-party
Yeah.
processing that you'd actually have to put in with each page placement. Because there's really no store set up with
Yeah, I wish
WordPress.
they had
Yeah, it would be great because of how it easily indexes everything into the search
Exactly.
engines.
I know. I love it. That's where I stay with Joomla.
Yeah.
They have good templates in Joomla.
Yeah,
I think for $79 a year, I go with one website, and they put out some awesome templates
Yeah.
that you can change the CSS a little bit, and
Right,
colors
yeah.
and that.
Yeah, WordPress gives you like a ton of options that you can
Yeah.
do almost anything, as long as you have a good programmer that knows how to work with it all. Any questions or anything?
You know about pay you to blog? Have you seen that? Anything
I haven't
about that?
seen that. I've seen a service that you could buy comments, but like if you have a blog, you can buy comments, but I wouldn't recommend that. Probably wouldn't go over too well. Yeah.
Or like
You
paper
just
post.
make up your
Is that-
own comments.
You talking
yeah.
about paper post?
I'm not sure. Someone just told me about pay you to blog, and they said they were making some money with that. And it was something where you use specific. If you wrote a blog, you use specific words in it or something like that, and because you use those words in your entry.
Right. Yeah, I'm familiar with paper post, and Google kind of frowns upon that now. So if you do blogging and then you say that you're getting paid to blog about it, they'll kind of ban your website from being listed just because they don't want that type of stuff going on. And it's like indexing of paid search links just to try and get like if you get a ton of websites to link to you using the phrase sporting goods, your blog would probably index a lot better if somebody went to Google and typed sporting goods. So they don't want manipulators, like people to manipulate that system.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Do they frown on your site if you sell advertising on your site?
If you make it obvious that you're selling text links, and they see if you have
You're selling banner ads.
right, yeah, they don't care so much about banner ads, but if you have if I was selling text links on the blog and there was a website for like jelly beans or lingerie or something specifically non-relevant at all, they would find that out, and people are strictly buying on here for like the purpose of getting PR ranking to increase their website. So they don't like that. That's what they're looking for.
They don't like text links.
They don't like it on non-relevant websites.
So as long as it, like if you're writing in your websites about photo material, and so you're writing and you talk about
Yeah, that would be
camera and
fine.
you put a link in,
Yeah,
a text link in.
Yeah,
no one's ever
yeah, that would
gonna-
be fine because that would be seen as content. But and it would. There's like certain obvious ways that they would notice because they occasionally visit the top ranked websites in search engines just doing manual searches. So if they see resource links and then there's obvious things that don't fit in there, and then there's a link that says click here to buy ad space, they'd probably penalize your website or knock it down a few spaces just because they know you're not following the rules as well.
Where are these rules written?
Wherever Google wants them.
Oh God, yeah. You know what I know? I have some different domains, and on different servers and stuff, and I tried linking them together. Is that like a no-no or?
Linking between servers?
Yeah, I don't know if it's Google, or do you think Google?
I think that's fine.
That's
yeah.
fine, yeah.
Yeah, that should be
but
fine.
But if everything was on the same server, because I just,
Well, if you have everything on the same server and one site gets knocked for a problem, it might affect all the other ones.
Yeah, then you have a problem, but on different servers.
Yeah, different servers, it should be fine.